Everybody, welcome back to Soft Wash Evolution. It's cold out this morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and there's frost on the window of my truck. In this video, we're going to talk about when it's too cold to wash and when it's time to hang it up. The cold can be and affect your results greatly when washing. Not only your equipment is going to take a hit, but your results and your chemicals are really going to take a hit. We're going to get into all of it in this video. Here we go. All right, so when I say too cold to wash, what I'm talking about more is soft washing than I am pressure washing. If you're just pressure washing, you can really take that in through the freezing months if you want to. The really thing you've got to protect is your pumps and your hoses. Everybody knows water freezes 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So when water freezes, it expands, and expands, it'll crack things. The hoses, the guns, the valves, the pump especially. It's not good to operate this stuff in freezing temperatures, but it can be done, especially if you have a place to park it overnight, keep the snow and ice off of it, bring it out during the day, wash, blow all the lines out, put some antifreeze in there, the glycol antifreeze that's safe for plumbing, and then you can use the thing, break your rig back out the next day, whatever it's going to be. When you're soft washing, the chemical reaction is what happens during soft washing. You apply, sodium hypochlorite to a surface, whether it's vinyl siding, asphalt shingle roof, whether it's some concrete on a walkway or pre-treating or post-treating. Tons of different surfaces can be soft washed. The chemical reaction slows down significantly when it gets cold. A lot of people don't know that actually the SH has a sweet spot. It likes to operate at about 50 to 80 degrees. So I know you guys down south battle with it being too hot. This stuff breaks down, especially in sunlight. In full sun and really hot conditions over 80 degrees, air temperature over 80 degrees, the SH breaks down too quickly and then it actually dries out. So you have to, almost reapply, especially when you're doing a roof, somewhere a flat surface up high like that where the sun's been baking it all day. The surface temperature is hotter than the air temperature, in the summer. Opposite in the wintertime and this time of year. The surface temperatures are going to be colder than the air. So some people like to think, well, yeah, it was freezing overnight, but it's 45 degrees right now, so I can wash. You can, yes, but you have to realize it's going to be significantly reduced. The surfaces that you're washing, that roof, the house, the concrete, they are not the same temperature as the air. They've been freezing all night, they're cooler. And the SH has been sitting in the tank in your truck or your trailer overnight. It is not the same temperature as the air. And also the water that you are mixing the SH with once it's downstreamed or in a batch mixing tank, wherever it is, that water is really cold. If you're getting it from the customer's house, into your buffer tank, it's coming from underground. That water is pretty much at freezing temperatures. It's just moving. It's the only reason it's not solid. That stuff is very cold. It's probably in the high 30s, if that. So the temperatures you're washing with will affect the performance of the chemical significantly. Like I said, that operating range right there of about 50 to 80 is where it wants to be. I'm going to end this video. I'll show you a couple of tricks you can do to make your SH work a little longer so you can stretch your season. If you're like I am up here in upstate New York, it's now the last week of October and we're already playing with fire. And not playing with fire so much, but if you're not experienced with it, you can really have some poor results that can affect your, reputation. You don't want to go, you wash a house, right now the expected high today is supposed to be 45. It's probably 40 out right now. It was real chilly this morning when I filmed that intro. That's right when I left. It's 45 minutes later, so the sun's not really expected to come out today. It's a pretty cloudy, dreary day. So the house wash that would normally take me 40 minutes is probably going to take an hour and a half. You're going to use 30 to 40% more chemical just doing vinyl siding. Roof washing this time of year, I've got one left on my schedule this season. I won't even wash another roof. It's to the point where you'll end up using twice or even more bleach than you planned on using. So that roof that was, a $600 roof wash you planned on using, however many gallons of SH, you'll use double that amount. So it significantly cuts into your profits. And it doesn't react the same way, so you'll end up leaving streaks that you've got to come back and then try to fix, and it just looks bad. I usually pull the plug this time of year on roofs. I'll do houses as long as the weather permits. I'll show you how to stretch that into the season a little further, even if you don't have an inside place to store your equipment, because I don't either. If you've seen my videos, my truck with my bleach tank sits outside, but I'll show you how you can stretch it into the season a little bit longer. So I'm going to head to the next job, do a little more filming, and then I'll break down how SH works when I get back to the shop and show you how to stretch that season a little longer, keep making money. So I'm back in the garage right now, finished washing for the day, finished gutter cleaning because that's primarily what I did today. As I said, it's the end of October. I really only have a couple of wash jobs left. Roofs, I have one left. Houses, I've got probably a week's worth on the schedule. I'll get through this week. And then, as you know, what I do in the off season, I'm going inside to start painting my first house the first week of November. Now, I'll still be able to get out during the day and do several more gutter cleanings, and a few more house washes too. I have 1 or 2 customers I know that are already scheduled in November because they have sales going on selling their house, doing whatever. So I'll be able to fit those in, and I'm going to show you how you can sneak in a few more if you're in the colder climate like I am here in upstate New York. I've got that 5-gallon jug of SH behind me right here. A lot of you buy yours in the 1 gallon or 2.5 or the 5-gallon jugs like this. This one's full. I'll be using this one probably tomorrow. I buy mine in 55-gallon drums in bulk usually. If you've seen my other videos, I store it right outside by the truck in the summertime. This time of year, I keep it inside and here in the garage. If you see my little garage door right there next to me, notice the insulation. My garage is heated and insulated. I don't heat it to the point where it's 70 degrees that I can, be comfortable out here, but I heat it enough so that my chemicals don't get destroyed. And I start buying this stuff starting in September only in the 5-gallon jugs. I'll buy as many as I need, only for about a week at a time, which seems inefficient. I've got to keep going to the chemical supply store. It's not that far from me, and I can carry a few of them in my truck at a time. The reason I do that is to help extend my season. If I keep using the 55-gallon drums, they're stored outside. When the SH gets cold, it dies. It starts to die. Not only is the cleaning, it starts to separate, first of all. If you don't understand the chemistry of what sodium hypochlorite is, it's oxygenated bleach. The oxygen atoms start to leave, the molecules start to leave that compound, and you're left with just salt and then the chlorine molecules in there. The salt will crystallize and separate. It'll actually cause oxidation on the siding, on the roofs, other things like that where you don't want it. Oxidation is a term a lot of wash guys use when they're describing that stuff, the oxidation on vinyl or on painted surfaces or vinyl siding that the sun and UV damage causes. That is oxidation. What's happening when you spray SH onto organic matter, the mold, algae, moss, you're oxidizing it. You want oxidation to happen. That's what that reaction is when that dark black or red or brown stuff, you hit it with SH and it turns that light tannish color and separates almost right away, and then you can rinse it off with a soft wash, a soft rinse. That's you're oxidizing that organic growth. That's what you want to happen. Cold temperatures, the oxidation process is much slower, and the SH isn't reacting because it's not 12% anymore. If that stuff has been exposed to temperatures under 45, 50 degrees for a prolonged period of time, it's already started to separate and it's losing its concentration. It's nowhere near 12% anymore. If it's been, stored in around, that 40 degree, almost freezing temperatures for a while, or it's been exposed to sunlight, that's why they keep it in these dark containers, its concentration power has been depleted. You can get those test strips. There's some other more reliable testing methods to tell what the concentration is, but it's reduced. I've seen it reduced by half in not that much time. I mean, a week outside in the cold, and you think you're spraying, 5% on that roof, you're hitting it with 2.5%. It's already cut in half. So even doing house washes, when you're used to using 1.5, 2% on that vinyl sided house, when it's cold, you'll notice especially when you're downstreaming, when you're putting a lot of water, it's just not reacting. The cold affects the reaction, plus it's just, you're using like 0.5% to try to clean that house. So I recommend buying it in smaller quantities at a time. That way you can bring it into your garage. If you don't have a garage, I know you probably don't want to bring it in your house or your apartment, wherever you live. Keeping this stuff warm. If you have a chemical supply place next to you, it's great to pick up a few at a time. If you're just getting it from a pool supply store or a hardware store, try to make friends with one of the managers or the owners. See if they can, when they get their deliveries, if they keep them inside, at least in a garage or a shed where it's protected from freezing. Try to get the one that's the freshest. If they had a shipment come in, try to get those ones. Don't get the ones that have been sitting out in a barn outside in the freezing weather for weeks on end, because you're not getting your money's worth. That 12% SH, if you're paying, 20, 30, 40 bucks, however much you're paying for one of these, I'm not going to tell you what I pay for it because I get a deal on it. But whatever you're paying for these, you're not getting your money's worth if it's been exposed to freezing temperatures. So you're going to have to use more of it, and you're paying more for it. So try to get the freshest stuff, the stuff that hasn't been exposed. Don't go buying 55-gallon drums in October when it's about to freeze. You're going to end up using way too much of it and waste it. Buy the smaller quantities. Keep it somewhere where it won't be exposed to the temperatures. Also, if you've seen my other videos where I do chemical loading, normally I come back every night or first thing in the morning and drop my filter down inside my loading station into a bulk tank, and I start loading my SH for the day. I'm definitely not gonna do it the night before. My SH tank is almost empty right now. There might be a half a gallon in it, and it's gonna sit like that overnight. I'm not gonna take this warm SH that's been in my garage in here, staying in the warmth, put it in the truck tank and let it sit there all night and be exposed to freezing temperatures tonight and then try to use it tomorrow to wash a house. That wouldn't make any sense. Keep this stuff warm for as long as you can. Don't put it in the truck until you have to. You can even go to the old X-Jet method if if you've got a modernized skid or a trailer and you're downstreaming out of a tank, you've got a bulk SH tank, go back to the old X-Jet method. Carry this thing right in the truck with you and just drop a filter right in it. Keep it warm in the truck with you throughout the day, or if you've got an enclosed trailer, same thing with the surfactant. The stuff starts to separate and set up. It gets much thicker, too thick actually, and it'll start messing with the SH. It doesn't want to stick the correct way. So keeping the chemicals, soap and the SH warm will definitely stretch its life. It'll save you a ton of money and a ton of headaches if you're sitting there spraying that stuff and can't figure out why it's not working. And it's the same way I started to explain it earlier in this video with the water. A lot of guys will say, well, my SH is warm. It's been sitting inside all night. Now I'm gonna go out and wash this roof. I definitely can do it. Where are you getting the water from? The water is going to be cold. The second this stuff gets cold, the cleaning power drops. It's not going to react the same way. So you're mixing it out of that buffer tank. That water is probably 35 degrees. It's close to freezing. Most of what you're putting on the house or the roof or whatever surface you're washing is that water from your buffer tank. The water's close to freezing. It's mixing with this. It's making this stuff cold. It's not going to react as well. Just plan for it this time of year. If you're in one of the colder climates, you're going to run into having to stop eventually. So early mornings, I don't even bother. Later in the evening after 4 o'clock, don't even bother. I'll clean a gutter or two in the morning if it's not freezing out. Save the washes for the middle of the day, the warmest part of the day when the sun's out and I can get a better reaction so I'm not wasting so much time. Go back to gutters. Pretty soon I won't be washing anymore at all. I'll be painting all morning, running out to clean gutters when my hands aren't freezing in the middle of the day, run back inside and paint till dark. That's the process I use. If you're in a colder climate, anywhere it gets cold, you're going to want to protect your chemicals. It does affect how you wash. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hope you like the video.